Hi everybody, welcome to the Dividend Growth Investing channel. In this video I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share with you my experience with M1 Finance, how I use it, a few tips and tricks that I picked up along the way, a few of the things that have helped me, and I think if you're new to investing or you're new to M1 Finance or have never even heard of it, I think this video is going to be really a tutorial, informational, but particularly I'm going to center it around my experience. I'm sure there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on how you can use M1 Finance. There's reviews. I actually just finished a brief my review from my lens, from a dividend growth investing lens, on M1 Finance, what it is, what are the pros and cons. I'll link the description to that video here in this video if you want to go ahead and check that out. But really, the goal of this video, I want to share with you how I came to absolutely love investing with M1 Finance. All right, so I haven't been using M1 Finance for all that long. I've been doing some research for a couple weeks, months, even before I pulled the trigger and opened my own account. I did my own research, all that good stuff, and is it safe? Is my money safe? Is this legit? Absolutely. But this video is not going to be about the legitimacy and is your money safe? Which I can assure you it is with M1 Finance. But this video, I'm really going to share with you my journey here on how I came to love M1 Finance. All right, so if you're unfamiliar with M1 Finance, you can go to Google, type in M1 Finance. You can go ahead and you can sign up now. With M1 Finance, it's super easy. All you need is your email to get started. If you are going to go ahead and sign up, I am not affiliated or sponsored by M1 Finance. They do have a promotion where which I'll share a link in the description below. If you use a referral link, you get $10 and I get $10. It's a win-win. If you want to go ahead and sign up with M1 Finance with that link, you'll get $10, I get $10. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so you go ahead and you can sign up. You don't actually have to fund your account to sign up. You do, however, have to fund your account if it's a regular brokerage account. It's $100 to make your first investment. If you want to go with a Roth IRA, which I don't have yet with M1 Finance, I have it in a different account for the time being. You only need $500 to start your first trade. I'm with Vanguard with my Roth IRA. And with Vanguard, I think the smallest amount is $1,000, but the majority of them are $3,000 and above. So right there, there's a big benefit with that. Okay, so as you can see here, if you watch my other videos, I've explained a little bit about how I came to start with M1 Finance. I first started with $200, started playing around with the pies and all of that, and then it wasn't until about 2 weeks later I was like, okay, this is what I want. This is great. And so what I did is I transferred a portion of my Robinhood account into M1 Finance. And I went online and I looked, okay, what was the transfer process like? Literally all I had to do was email them, transfers@m1finance.com, and explain to them, where I was transferring from and what I wanted to transfer, how much. And the cool thing is like some brokerage accounts, you have to transfer your whole account. I didn't have to transfer my whole account. I only transferred a portion of my account. I got to pick and choose, and it was pretty cool. So really easy, pretty seamless experience. And when it comes to starting out, you can go ahead and you can jump in and you can start building your pies, and it gets really exciting. Like that's the first thing that I did. When I got on M1 Finance, the first thing that I started doing was fiddling around with it because I've never used it before. I'd watched some other YouTube videos and seen what other people have been doing, but I wanted to make it my own. I took inspiration from other videos and then I made it my own. And as you can see here, I have two accounts or two portfolios here. If you have multiple portfolios, you have multiple accounts, and I think you can have up to 10 if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it, but I know you can have multiple accounts on M1 Finance, like sub accounts. I can show you here. Here you can manage your different accounts. So pretty easy there. All right, so the first thing that I did was I came in and I started building some different portfolios or some different pies, right? And just to show you an example here, a recession-proof pie. The cool thing is you can see the historical performance of the selected slices. So this is obviously historical data is not a guarantee of future performance, but you can see here the yield, how many holdings, and the target allocation. And you can edit it super easy. You can increase the size, you can decrease it. Obviously it has to total 100. You can add additional stocks, ETFs, and another thing, you can actually insert other pies. You can insert a pie into a pie. So pretty cool stuff. So if you really want to get granular and you want to really be broadly diversified, you can do that with M1 Finance. All right. So really interesting stuff. That's what I started out doing, kind of playing around with it. You can kind of see here, okay, well, what does it look like with ETFs? And what does the dividend yield look like? What is the expense ratio? Because that's important. Now, if you're really seeking a high dividend yield, you can set up your allocation that way. For example, if you really, you're nearing retirement and you want to have a high yield, you can allocate your picks based off of that. Okay, my personal favorites, I just built this out of fun for this video. My favorites, I love these companies. Every single one of them, they're going to be around. I mean, these are the bread and butter. Like when I look at my strategy going forward, I'm going to be heavily weighted in these companies right here, among others. But these are the ones that my personal favorites. Okay, so if you want to go and if you haven't seen my other videos, they also have expert pies that you can pull in, and you can have your own expert pie set up from M1 Finance. Something that I used as well from the beginning was search like a screener, a stock screener, or an ETF screener. Now this is something that I did a lot where, okay, you don't want to just, I mean you can, but not my strategy of just searching by dividend yield. You can do it by expense ratio, assets under management. So looking at the different ETFs that were available. I like this primarily for peace of mind. Am I on the right track? Also, in addition to using this, I use other websites. For example, Seeking Alpha. They have a great screener on Seeking Alpha. You can even go into your portfolio and you can do your screen this way. There's so many different strategies that you can follow. But I do primarily the majority of my research when I'm looking to build my portfolio. I did most of my research outside of M1 Finance. I used Yahoo Finance and others to build that. And also, ETF.com, a great screener, a great tool when looking for ETFs. But so this is kind of, when you're doing your initial research, when you're trying to build out your pies, right? So that's what I did. And once you've figured out, okay, what do I want to, what do I want my pies to look like? Then you would go ahead and then you would start funding your account. All right. And so this is how you can do it. You can do a single deposit, a one-time deposit. So you want to do $100. You can do it one time, or you can set a schedule. Now this is where I really see the value of M1 Finance. I use this all the time, every single day. I invest every single day. I'm transferring money from my bank account every single day into M1 Finance. Now the way that the investments work with M1 Finance, there's three options. Every single time your account has more than $10, because you have to have a minimum of $10 for M1 Finance to invest or to purchase shares. And I have this on, the auto invest. I personally deposit or transfer every single day, and I am purchasing shares of individual stocks and ETFs every single day based off of my pie allocation. You can also do an auto invest to a set amount, and you can also do, you don't want to invest your cash. You want to select the individual equities, stocks, ETFs yourself. And you can see here your history of everything that you've purchased. As you can see, very steady. Tuesday through Friday, I do $50. Monday, I do $100. There's a little bit more market fluctuation on Mondays, so I try to leverage that. And you can see here, this is just the funding that you've done, not anything with transfers or anything like that. Okay, so that's the funding. The holdings, you can actually see the total holdings, and this is also with the transfer. So prior to the transfer, everything from the date that I purchased them. So you can see all of them. You can filter it by amount of shares and so forth, the gains or the losses, or and the activity you can see here. And this is, honestly, this is where I get the most excited when I'm traveling to, I'm on my break at work, or I'm in between meetings or something. I pull up the app and I check and see, okay, well, what did I purchase today? And so, for example, yesterday I had a cash deposit of $50, and I had dividends come in from these funds. And from these, they purchased the following fractional shares of these companies. And it was all automated. I didn't have to do anything. I set up the one-time automatic transfer, and it just went to work for me. It did it automatically. Now, this is an example of something that I did a little bit more manual. And this is where I deposited a set amount of $400, and I made a manual purchase into the following companies. And this is my strategy. I don't do this all the time. I decided to do this because I wanted to take advantage of a few of the dips that have occurred in these companies, and 3M and so forth. So taking a little bit of advantage of the dip, because M1 Finance won't do that automatically. The way that it does it is based off of your actual and your target allocation. So as you can see here, I'm overweighted in consumer staples and telecom, energy, and utilities. M1 Finance only allows you to have 9 pie slices, and that's why I have them bundled up. You can see that there. And so M1 Finance is not going to invest or purchase shares of these companies that are in these pies, but rather the ones that are underweight. And that's how you can see that. And you can edit that. If I wanted to go in here and edit it, let's go in here for a second. Let's try it from this view. If I wanted to go into the passive income search here or pie and edit here, I could do so. I could say, okay, I want the consumer staples to be higher or lower. I could do so, and so forth. If I wanted to go into individual slices, in this case, I can see, okay, these are the individual companies or slices that I have in this particular pie. And you can see the dividend yield, the expense ratio. I don't have any expense ratio because I don't have any ETFs. And this is how I look at it. I manage it. And like I said, because I have it set up automatically to fund every day, I get really excited. I haven't been this excited in a long time. And for investing. And every single morning I check my, you can check the activity, and you can see, okay, what dividends do I have coming in? Yesterday I had a little over $8 in dividends. And on this day, I didn't have anything come in this week, but I had over $58 in just pure dividends. And these dividends bought these 3 companies, these fractional shares of these 3 companies. So really powerful stuff. This is how I leverage M1 Finance for the actual pie allocation, building out the portfolio. I use it this is how I do it. For the research, I use other tools like Seeking Alpha or Yahoo Finance. But this is how I do it. And you can see the dividends that are coming in, and you can also do it by time frame. But this is how I personally use M1 Finance for my dividend growth strategy. I hope this was helpful. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section about how you're using it. And I'd love to see what's working for you and get some more ideas from all of you. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.